Thank you, Dave. Travis Lulay and the BC Lions with a first down. At their 30-yard line, the two teams trading 2 and outs to start the game. And the hitch to Emmanuel Arsenault. He gets game tackled after a pickup of about 3 yards.
Well, big game for the BC Lions, trying to crawl out of the 1-4 hole they find themselves in. The Lions have lost 4 straight games. If they go 1-5 out of the gate, it'll be the first time in Wally Buono's coaching career that he starts a season 1-5. That's how big this game is for the BC Lions.
2nd and 6. We've already seen an awful lot of movement from that Calgary defense. A lot of different looks for the rookie quarterback and for the second-year quarterback, and he gets sacked this time by Brandon Isaac. And Calgary showing looks of, I don't think Lulay expected.
Well, clearly they saw the Saskatchewan Rough Rider film, because Saskatchewan, look at the movement. There's Wes Lysak, Michael Abinjo, Tom Johnson. They're moving around. They're not set in any position. They know there's changes in the offensive line for the BC Lions, so they're going to move around and make it difficult on them. And Brandon Isaac steps up. He was the delayed blitzer, and he gets there.
McCallum with the boot. Dion Murphy on the run, trying to get outside. And does. Murphy across midfield. He'll step out at the BC 48-yard line. Empire, the Lions trying to win their first game back at their old home. It's retro night here. Henry Burris with his second possession. And it's good field position at the line 48. Wants to pass, wants to go deep. Jump ball, and it's a touchdown. Kenyon Rambo got in behind Stanley Franks for the major.
Stanley Franks was in perfect position here. Kenyon Rambo stays with the route, and Franks is in very good position, but when he turns to find the football, he gets caught up, he stumbles a little bit, loses some ground right there at the point of attack. You see him try and turn and backpedal. That costs him about a half a yard. Rambo stays with it, and the Calgary Stampeders on the board first.
Second touchdown in as many games for the player returning from the torn Achilles last year, or the torn ACL injury, which occurred in Vancouver, and Rambo with a 48-yard touchdown grab from Henry Burris.
Nothing fancy about the route that Kenyon Rambo is going to go here. He's just going to come straight down the field, and you're going to see the guy in coverage and Stanley Franks just pick him up and be in very good position. Here he comes. He's in that trail. He's in a nice spot, but then when he goes to find the ball, he's thinking interception and loses some ground. You can't run backwards as fast as Kenyon Rambo can run forwards. There's that little yard of separation. He sticks with it. Touchdown.
First catch last week was a touchdown against Winnipeg, and Henry Burris finds him again. First catch of the game for Rambo, and Henry Burris has a league-leading 12 touchdown pass.
Stanley Franks had been playing fairly well in that secondary, and will now have to have a short memory and bounce back from one that he probably thinks he should have had, because it looked like he had a good beat on the football and was in pretty good position, but he got caught up when he tried to backpedal.
On a hop, Giannis Davis, and he is brought down at the 31-yard line. John Cornish there.
Tremendous concentration from Kenyon Rambo, because he has to make a decision as this ball comes down to him, and that is whether or not to go up and come back and try and jump over Stanley Franks, or to just wait on it. He waits on it, makes the right choice. The concentration and focus is there. So is the 6 points.
10th touchdown pass from Burris in the last 10 quarters. Now can Travis Lulay crack the code of this Calgary defense? Play action, gets it in the hands of Geroy Simon, and he'll be jolted out by Dwight Anderson at the 37. Let's meet the BC offense. The starting lineup brought to you by Rhoda, proud sponsor of the CFL. Rhoda, doing it right.
Well, there is Geroy Simon in our starting lineup. He was the target of a Nick Lewis tweet on Twitter during the week. We'll have more on that as the game goes on. One change on the offensive line. John Hameister-Reese is out. Dane Randolph out of Maryland, same school as G. Roy Simon, at right tackle.
So 3 imports on that offensive line. Second down. Emmanuel Arsenault is brought down by Dwight Anderson short of the first down. And it'll be 3 consecutive 2-and-outs to start for the BC Lions.
They're trying to go with the quick hit screens to get the ball out of Travis Lulay's hands, because that's been the theme of this football team throughout the first part of this season, and that's that their quarterbacks are getting pounded when they're back in that pocket. So clearly the strategy for BC early is to do the quick game. The good tackling by Calgary has caused these 2-and-outs.
There's McCallum. Murphy from his 31. Dion Murphy with a good return, but there is a flag on the play. Calgary football when we come back. We're in the grounds of the PNE, Empire Field. Lions still looking for their first win here. And they're down by 7 as Calgary goes to work. A holding penalty on the return against Brandon Isaac. So Calgary starts at their 21 with John Cornish in the backfield. And Cornish for 5.
Starting offense for the Calgary Stampeders. There's the tweeter in Nick Lewis, who sent a message saying that the secondary for the BC Lions only tackle around the legs, and he's wondering if any of them will tackle high here tonight. There's the inside guards, Dan Comiskey, the veteran, 13 years in the Canadian Football League. Be up against Karan Williams tonight, so it'll be interesting to watch that matchup. Karan Williams moving inside.
Sexual conduct. Calgary number 85. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Late
Will be
flag.
second down.
David Sanchez had some words with Rambo, so they may have something going. We saw Rambo react a couple of times last week in his return from that ACL injury.
What a game by David Sanchez last week, and the Lions loss to the Edmonton Eskimos. 9 tackles for Sanchez, an interception, a touchdown.
So it's 2nd and 16. Burrow's looking downfield. He's got R.J. Franklin for short game, and he'll be brought down at the 24-yard line. Stanley Franks is there to make sure Franklin doesn't have any yak yards.
Now this will be the best field position of the game so far for the BC Lions to try and get a little bit of momentum in this game and get the home crowd behind them. They're wearing their 70s retro look, which I have to tell you, partner, is bringing back some great memories, because I remember sitting in this stadium and watching that very helmet and decal, and start having these flashbacks when I look at some of these numbers of some of the greats from the 70s.
Burke Dales launches this. And here's Giannis Davis reversing field. Gets a block, and away he goes. And he'll finally be angled up. That's his best punt return. And if not for Eric Fraser, the Burnaby native, he might have gone all the way.
You know, he plays this well because Giannis Davis is going to sell it by going to the left first. He's going to take it this way, and I can tell this is a right return because the Lions are all trying to get position on the right side of their cover men. So as they get position, Giannis Davis sets them up by taking 4 or 5 steps to the left and then bounces it back to the return side. That's a veteran move for a rookie returner.
30 yards on the return. He was 5 for 22 in punt returns last week. Simon with the catch, but he's brought down immediately. There's Keon Raymond, the Sam linebacker.
That front 7 led Calgary Stampeders is led by Juwan Simpson with 22 tackles, leads his team, also has a couple of sacks on the season, the middle linebacker spot. There's the secondary. Brandon Smith is back in for Brandon Isaac. Now, Brandon Isaac will play in certain personnel groupings, but Brandon Smith, the starting halfback, is back, missed last week.
So no gain for Simon. 2nd and 10. Here comes the blitz again. Ball away. A catch is made by Arsenault, and he's dragged down by Dwayne Anderson, but that's a first down for the Lions. Their initial first down of the night.
Lots of different looks from this Calgary defense as they're going to have Big Tom Johnson in the middle of it, stand up almost like a linebacker. They are getting pressure because of it. They're sort of following the Saskatchewan model, and Saskatchewan had great success here against Casey Printers and the Lions early on in the season in week 2.
First down, the handoff to Robertson, tries the right side.
And that's how you can counter that kind of movement. Now, the Stampeders didn't do it on that play. Chris Jones decided to go back to his normal defense, guys in the three-point stance in the defensive line. But it looks like he stealed a little bit of a page from Gary Echeverry's book in Saskatchewan to start this game. Now, the way the Lions can counter this is by attacking it with the run. As those guys bounce around and stand up straight, that gives the O-line some decent blocking angles.
There's that unorthodox formation again. On second and long, Lule looking into the corner. Paris Jackson ran out of room.
Well, Lule here has a lot of time because the Calgary Stampeders, with all their movement up front, are going to end up just sending 3 of the guys up front. So he had plenty of time. You can see there's only 2 men in your screen and then 1 to the left of that formation. It's going to end up being 3-man pressure from Calgary. So Lule has plenty of time. If he wants, he can work his way to the left and wait for plays to develop down the field. Took a shot and just ran out of room.
Here's Paul McCallum attempting a 27-yarder. Had his streak into 24 in Edmonton, but nails that one, and the Lions are on the board. Welcome back to Vancouver. On the sidelines is Farhan Lalji.
Chris, you know, when this stadium was first opened, a number of fans thought it was so nice it should be permanent, but a rainy night like this is the real test. Now, you would think the Dome has saved Lions fans from a number of nights like this, but considering the 27 years since BC Place opened, there have been 242 regular season home games. It has rained on just 9 of those days. Now, as for the future of BC Place Stadium, it was reported this week that it may not be ready for the start of next season. The only guarantee was that it would be ready for Grey Cup, so the Lions could play at least half of next year here also.
Never rains in Vancouver. You should have seen it yesterday.
I was told by more than a few people coming in that this really does not count as rain. It's a mist.
This is nothing. It's a West Coast mist. But Farhan's right. That'll be the test when the fans are sitting in the rain like we used to years ago in Empire Stadium. And it rained every night back then.
Dion Murphy. And he's gang tackled at the 36-yard line. And Henry Burris goes back to work.
Nick Lewis stirred things up a little bit heading into this game when Lewis was a Twitter maniac, sending messages saying G-Roy Simon looked old and stressed out, and secondary for the Lions only hit low. Corey Banks fired back.
Hence, you called it the Twitter Bowl. And there was lots of talk early. There's Joffrey Reynolds playing in his 100th career game. Brent Johnson there to meet him.
As the BC Lions defense mentioned, Karan Williams. Aaron Hunt is on the 9-game injured. He tore his pectoral muscle and got surgery, I believe, today. So Karan Williams moves inside. There's Dante Marsh back on the corner. Missed last week versus the Edmonton Eskimos.
Boy, that's devastating. Aaron Hunt, big reason why the Lions have led the league in sacks for 4 consecutive years. 2nd and 9 for Henry Burris. And that pass falls well short of the target. A little miscommunication, it appeared, between the quarterback and Romney Bryant.
Corey Banks, after Nick Lewis sent the tweets. Now, he's not a Twitterer or tweeter or whatever. And so he did it on camera and in the media, saying that Nick Lewis, I believe, and I'm quoting Corey Banks here,
yes,
called him an idiot. And then they had a laugh about it after.
And he said, I ain't scared to say it.
Yeah. And G-Roy Simon mentioned that there's no market for a fat receiver when he fired back at Nick Lewis. So a little jog back and forth.
There's a flag down as the arrow. Brandon Browner was downfield to make sure Giannis Davis didn't have a big return that time. 46-yard boot by Burke Dales.
We're one of the top cover men in the Canadian Football League. Brandon Browner, you've heard the term before, it's called the arrow. And your responsibility as the arrow is go straight to the football. And there's not many that do it as well as Brandon Browner. And then plays corner right after he covers the kick.
Holding. BC, number 47, while the ball was in the air. No yards. Calgary, number 27. The net difference is back 5 yards. First down, BC.
Well, you mentioned Corey Banks, and he talked a little bit more about it with us.
If I was a receiver and I caught a ball out there one-on-one, there's nobody in this league that would tackle me if you try to hit me up high. Nobody, probably on the planet. So really, the job description says this is a contact sport. When you sign up to it, you sign a contract, you know what kind of sport it is. And if you don't want to get hit low, this goes for anybody, not just Nick, play quarterback.
So take that, Nick Lewis. You're going to get hit low tonight.
You don't watch me watch. Well, first of all, it's legal to tackle a receiver around the legs low. So that's, I think, what Corey Banks was talking about. And then, of course, afterwards, and it all came public, and there was lots of newspaper articles. They all kind of backpedaled and said, oh, no, we're okay. We're just doing what we do.
2nd and 8. Downfield, Paris Jackson. He's got it. Travis Lulay to Paris Jackson and a first down for the BC Lions.
You know, and I think this is what people like about Travis Lulay, that if you give him time, he's going to be able to get Paris Jackson on this corner route. And a perfect throw to just throw it up and over the shoulder and let Paris Jackson just sort of run underneath it. They use G-Roy Simon as a decoy coming across the middle, man-to-man coverage on Keon Raymond, and that ball is put right on. If you give Travis Lulay a little time, he'll make that kind of throw.
Just the 12th catch of the year for Jackson, trying to bump his early season slump. Short drop and another completion, another first down for Paris Jackson.
Well, this is good news for BC Lions fans, because Paris Jackson has been really the invisible man in this offense, and I know he's been nicked, but Paris Jackson was on pace for 500, just over 500 yards on the season after the first 5 games of the year. I mean, that would be his worst year in the last 5. They have to get Paris Jackson involved. They have to get him the football. He's had just 100-yard game in his last 14.
Best game this year, 4 catches, 58 yards. So 2 early catches here. And the second requiring a measurement to see if he got a first.
Sorry, Chris, late in that game against Edmonton in the loss, they do get the first down there. He did make a nice catch, and we mentioned at the time that maybe that will be the catch that sort of breaks him out of this slump and gives him some confidence. Well, a couple of catches here tonight.
Led all Canadian receivers last year in yards. Just 2 30-yard plus plays so far this season for number 19 in his 8th year. First down, a fake to Robertson. They dump it off. And Emmanuel Arsenault close to another first down at the Calgary 41.
I'm seeing a little more movement in the Lions offense, and I'm talking about pre-snap, that they're starting to get G-Roy Simon moving around a little bit more, not have him static in the line of scrimmage. And Jacques Chapdelain's taken a little heat over the last couple of weeks as his offense has struggled. Ranked 6th along the ground, ranked 7th in the league through the air, and dead last in points scored. So looks like he's trying to add a little more pre-snap motion to maybe get some angles for his receivers and a little more time for his quarterback.
2nd and inches, Jarius Jackson and the jumbo team check in. With Brent Johnson at the end, and what a surge for Jarius Jackson. And Brandon Isaac made sure that he touched him. It was such a good surge. I'm not sure he was touched 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage.
I think Jarius Jackson was just waiting for the hit, trying to keep his pad level so low and keep that low center of gravity that he just fell on his own. I don't think anyone got him. He could still be running.
Off-season shoulder surgery for Jackson, and some speculation that he's close to being ready if the Lions have to call his number. Travis Lulay pulled down, and there's Malik Jackson in on the tackle.
Well, Demain Duckett is going. He's got to take Mike Labinjo here, so that means right here Jamal Lee has got to take the linebacker blitzing, and we'll see what happens in that one-on-one matchup. Jamal Lee tries to slide inside, in between trying to block him and cut block him, doesn't get any of them. Malik Jackson goes free.
2nd sack of the year for Jackson. 2nd 14. Lulay looking for Arsenault in a battle, and flags fly. A lot of pushing and shoving. Dwight Anderson.
Yeah, he almost tackled him. There was pushing and shoving both way. A little shove by Manuel Arsenault, but it looked, I'm not sure that Dwight Anderson ever looked. Well, he did take a glance there, and then this is just a mauling.
Oh, we had a few that were contentious last night. That one is not.
No, there's the definition. So you can mark that, keep that one, and use that one in the seminar.
Top defensive player for the Stamps last year, and a Western All-Star, Dwight Anderson. Final play of the quarter, can't end on a penalty, so 1st and goal for the Lions, trying to take the first quarter lead. And Robertson scores, touchdown, Jamal Robertson.
Jamal Robinson avoided contact in the backfield. Not sure which one of the Calgary Stampeders defenders got there, but a little high step right at the line of scrimmage gets him a chance to bounce to the outside, and pretty good offensive series from the BC Lions, starting with a couple Paris Jackson catches.
5th touchdown of the year, 4th on the ground for Robertson. McCallum adds the extra point. And the BC Lions, through 15 minutes, have a 3-point lead thanks to Jamal Robertson. First quarter stats are brought to you by Tim Hortons, proud sponsor of the CFL.
Well, the Calgary Stampeders had the one play to Kenyon Rambo. They have just 1 first down in the first quarter, 7 for the BC Lions, although it took them right to the last play of that first quarter to take the lead in this game.
It really felt like the Lions were the team spinning their tires early on. They had 3 2-and-outs in succession to start the game, but maybe a little traction now.
Yeah, they do, and they're moving their receivers around a little bit more. Some changes in the offense from Jacques Chapdelaine, and I already see a benefit from moving Karan Williams inside. I know it was done due to injury, but he looks like he's getting some penetration there. So all of that good news for a team that's very desperate. Wally Buono has not beat John Hufnagel since Hufnagel joined the Calgary Stampeders.
And if you joined us late, Wally Buono has never started 1-5 in his CFL career. Dion Murphy with the return. Try to find something on that far side, and the Lions closed it off. So 1 first down and one play touchdown drive for Henry Burris, and with that pass he went over 25,000 yards passing as a Calgary Stampeder quarterback, the all-time leader for the Stamps in that category.
35 years old and looks good. In his last couple of games, in last 2 games, he's completed 70% of his passes. He's just put together a nice drive here, not worry about the big play.
Make the hitch and instead dump it off to Joffrey Reynolds, and he breaks a tackle, and Reynolds across the 40 with a first down.
Some play set up nicely, a little fake hitch screen to Nick Lewis, who's at the left of the formation, and then Kenyon Rambo in the middle of it. He's going to just sneak out here, and then when he does, he's in perfect position for the screen. You'll see a couple of offensive linemen pull on the play. There's the fake, and he's got a little convoy out in front of him.
13 yards for the Stampeder running back, and a first down at the 41. And that pass got to Romby Bryant, and he steps out with another first down. Dante Marsh with a break on the ball. Looked like he had a line on it, but a fastball from Burris and a completion.
Henry Burris gets a hint here because there's Rob Cote and there's linebacker Joe Henderson. Cote is going to exit here, and he's going to line up at tight end, and he's going to take off and go in motion. You see 48 go with him. Henry Burris knows now that he's got man-to-man, and when he gets man-to-man, he's going to Kenyon Rambo or Nick Lewis.
First down, Burris steps up and takes off and surges down to the 45-yard line. That should be enough for another Calgary first down.
You know, last week against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Henry Burris rushed 6 times for 55 yards. It's a big part of his game. I know there was some newspaper articles written today about how Henry Burris is 35 years old and looking like he's playing like he's around 27 years old, because his game is to get the run going, to move his feet, get outside the pocket, make plays on the go.
That was a season high for Burris. 55 on the ground last week, and here's Romby Bryant. He's cut down. Dante Marsh with a sure low tackle.
You know, and I asked a couple of the DBs, I asked Corey Banks, and I talked a little bit to Ryan Phillips about it. They said, yeah, we were just having some fun during the week. And I said, well, okay, you're having fun, but what if you get a chance to come in the open field and make a tackle? And, oh yeah, we're gonna hit him low. It was automatic. That was a sure tackle by Dante Marsh.
Marsh back in, did not play against Edmonton. Groin injury against Toronto. All CFL in 2008. 2nd and 8. And Burris has Nick Lewis. There's the guy who leads the league in second down conversions. That's number 13. A big one here to keep the drive alive for Calgary.
Big game last week for Nick Lewis. 160 yards receiving, on pace for his best season as a pro. He's healthy, feels good, and when he's healthy and feels good, he likes to talk.
And the Twitter account grew by 200 this week. He made so much noise, people wanted to find out what he was saying. Take the sweep, and Rob Cote may have some room. The Cochran kid steps out just beyond the first down stick.
And Nick Lewis off to a great start this season. And
so apparently there is a market for fat receivers.
Oh, hey, I know Henry Burris likes having him in the lineup. And there's the clutch catch list coming into this week. Nick Lewis right on top.
That was a line from G-Roy Simon,
yes.
Not an assessment from the booth.
No.
Stamps are marching. And Reynolds cut down on another good tackle from Davis Sanchez.
Cuts him down at the legs.
I think all those Lion DBs signed up for the Lewis Twitter account.
Yeah, they're on it, but the fact remains, this is a good drive by the Calgary Stampeders. It started in their end of the field. They're methodically moving it down using different receivers. Saw the matchup with Kenyon Rambo. There's the talk and the Twitter going. And a little Nick Lewis sprinkled in.
And against Loudon Empire, 2nd and 8. Burris looking to this near side, and there's R.J. Franklin with the catch. He's going to be short of the first down.
I asked John Hufnagel during the week about the fans here in Empire Field, and he said this week they practiced basically like they were going to Mosaic Stadium in Saskatchewan with the same type of music and big speakers, trying to distract the players as they try to concentrate in the huddle and in practice, because they've heard the rumors before they came out. Mark Trestman talked about it when the Alouettes were here, that in this environment they start stamping their feet in the temporary stands. That creates a ton of noise, and it can be very distracting.
And these stands are right on top of the field. Rob Maver's been almost perfect in his rookie season. And he keeps it going with an easy one from 19 yards out. And this game is tied at 10. Wendy's Kick for $1 Million is back. Your chance to be one of 4 to go head-to-head. To qualify for the live halftime show, enter at tsn.ca/Wendy's and upsize your Wendy's combo and get a game card to get bonus entries for your shot at that impressive prize list.
The two most accurate kickers in the Canadian Football League in this game, and Rob Maver and Paul McCallum, one at 90.9%, one at 92.9%.
Giannis Davis, and he gets drilled there by Robert McHugh on the tackle. Well, we've seen some good things from Travis Lulay, and Wally Buono told us before the game he still has confidence in his young quarterback.
No, there's no loss of faith. I think anybody that's coached quarterbacks or been involved with quarterbacks knows that there's going to be times that are going to be difficult, and that's part of the learning curve. That's part of, I guess, the process that you have to go through. Friction, as they say. The more there's friction, sometimes the shinier the piece of metal gets.
Wally Buono trying to polish this diamond. And here's Lulay taking a hit as he crosses the 40-yard line and comes up with about 6 on that carry.
Versus the Edmonton Eskimos last week, didn't throw for many yards, 134 total, had a couple of interceptions in the game. We all know about the fumble that ended it. He did rush for seven times for 62 yards, and that's one thing that the BC Lions know that they can lean on with Travis Lulay, and a lot of young quarterbacks, inexperienced quarterbacks, will do that early in their career. When they don't see what they like downfield, they take off and run, and I think you encourage it if you're the Lions coaching staff.
They mark him at the 40, so it is a gain of 5, 2nd and 5. More conventional defensive set for the Stamps. And the ball gets into the hands of Geroy Simon, and he takes a wallop there from Dwayne Anderson and Milt Collins.
You know what Geroy Simon did here, and you could tell that he's getting frustrated as these losses continue to pile up, because he lowers his shoulder here. Geroy Simon is usually going to make a move on you in the open field. He's done that throughout his great career, but this time you could tell he's a little frustrated with what's been going on. He wants to lead by example, lower his shoulder, and go ahead and try and be the hammer.
Simon, with 3 catches in the game, now has 797 in his career. He's closing in on a couple more milestones in his illustrious career. Big to Robertson. Oh, what a jolt that is. And Jamal Lee was separated from the football by Brandon Isaac. And the defense is really stepping up tonight.
The one thing that Travis Lulay, as this game goes on, will realize is that if he sees Brandon Isaac lined up as a linebacker like that and following the back of the backfield, that means everyone's in man-to-man defense. It is a pre-snap read that can give him a hint as he goes on.
Now they give that Saskatchewan Rough Rider look on 2nd and 10. Lulay will get it away. He's looking for Simon, but overthrows the intended target by about 5 yards.
Some of the criticism this week towards this offense has been twofold. One is to get Jamal Robertson involved and balance in the game, in the running game. It looks like Wally Buono giving his young quarterback a bit of an earful there, but the other was to get the ball to Geroy Simon, and clearly they're trying to do that.
Dion Murphy awaits, the all-purpose yardage leader, and flags fly as there was some movement pre-snap, and it goes against the Lions.
Illegal procedure. BC number 45. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
That's Jason Araki, special teams leader of the Lions.
Good yard, man. Good.
Good boot by McCallum. Murphy at his 21. And tripped up quickly after a 46-yard punt by McCallum. Time for our Scotiabank Show Your Colors fan tribute. Tonight we salute the Colbys, Stuart and 9-year-old Sam, who visited us in the booth. He's been playing for 3 years, an offensive, defensive lineman. How about G-Roy Simon being one of his coaches?
Yeah, and Sam, I let him use the telestrator when he was here, and he drew up the field goal for the Grey Cup between Montreal and Saskatchewan almost perfectly.
Showed you a few things about that telestrator, didn't he? Glenn Jackson was Stuart's favorite. And the neat thing here is Stuart came here as a kid, and the seats he's sitting in very close to the area where he came with his dad to watch BC Lion games.
And Sam is a defensive lineman on that team. And coached by G-Roy Simon. How about that?
I wonder if G-Roy coaches the D-lineman. Second down, draw, John Cornish. First down, and a spin across the 40 for John Cornish, who's become a bigger part of this Calgary offense in 2010.
Boy, perfect call for the Calgary Stampeders. I want to show you Karan Williams here. Watch how he comes out of his stance. He's getting ready to run a stunt. In other words, he's going to vacate his hole. And John Cornish, it's the perfect call for him to go ahead and take this draw, delayed draw. You see how number 9 gets up in his stance and then vacates? That opens up the hole for Cornish.
12-yard run for John Cornish. A first down for the Stamps at the 41. Back into the hands of Cornish, and this time not as successful as Dominique Pittman. The fine rookie defensive end makes the tackle. Lions going with only 5 defensive linemen tonight with the injury to Aaron Hunt. And maybe they'll benefit from the fact that it is a cool night here on the West Coast.
Well, and I'm interested to see how Karan Williams plays inside. Mike Benavides in the booth to your left. Defensive coordinator has been forced to move it back to his natural position.
They go 3 down line, and there another great second down conversion. Nick Lewis up high to pull that one down.
Yeah, Nick Lewis knew in that part of the field that there's someone coming to put his helmet right between the 8 and the 2, and he gets a good shot here because he has to climb the ladder. We saw him do that last week with that great hurdle against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He's got a tremendous vertical jump, and he shows it there.
On his way to his finest year in this his 7th season in the CFL. Another Calgary first down, and Burris looking for a lot more, but Britt Johnson tracking him. And the pass for O.J. Franklin incomplete, just a yard beyond the line of scrimmage. That's how deep Henry Burris was chased by Brent Johnson.
Nick Lewis has been the center of attention all week long. Mentioned his great start in the best game of the 2010 season for him, and here's the hurt. I have to show it to you one more time because he was up there.
That was his Sports Center moment last week. 2nd and 10. Is it time for 82 again? From midfield, here comes the heat, and they've got Burris, Karan Williams, the former Stampeder. 2 years with Calgary, released by John Hubnagel, and you know Karan Williams is fired up tonight.
Well, Henry Burris is going to be like all the viewers here tonight. They're not going to see Karan Williams right now, but I'll give you a little hint. He's right over here. Henry Burris doesn't see him either, but watch how he just bulldozes his way and becomes part of that picture right down the middle, number 9 in the lap of Henry Burris.
That's the first sack of the season for the highly touted free agent signing. Giannis Davis let it skip by him. There'll be a 5-yard no yards as he fields it at the 15. So it'll be Lion football at the 20 when we come back. 4-1 Calgary and 1-4 BC, tied at 10.
You got him.
Lion first down, the pitch to the left side, and this is Davis. Giannis Davis, the ball carrier, challenged Jamal Robertson in camp for the starting running back job for Robert Jordan as a kick returner and made an impact last week.
A touchdown on a return, and that's just a special play package for Giannis Davis. Little pitch to the outside, try and get him in space, and a pretty good pickup on first down.
Nice play action fake, but the pass falls incomplete. And the 3-minute warning given to the benches here, first half at Empire. Oh, we got some VIPs in the crowd tonight. That's Kyle. And Blake and Trevor Randorf are here. Their dad didn't get the tickets with the roof or at midfield, but he got them into the game, and we'll hear from Dave and the boys at halftime talking about what they've seen in the first half here, as well as that Hamilton win over Winnipeg. Dion Murphy across midfield, and now changes direction. And is finally pushed out at about the BC 40. 24 on the return for number 24 as we check in with Farhan Lalji.
Chris, in the offseason, the Stampeders lost 3 offensive linemen to retirement and 1 to the NFL. They managed to survive. Now they're going to thrive with the return of Dimitri Zumpas, who was cut last week by the Miami Dolphins. He's on the 46-man roster. He began practicing with the Stamps last week after signing a long-term extension, but he's not here on the trip. John Huffnagel says the biggest thing right now isn't physical. He spent 6 months learning the Dolphins terminology. They've got to deprogram him. And remember what they're doing here with Dave Dickinson now as the offensive coordinator, but they don't expect it'll take long.
Boy, that's a big ad for this Calgary team. Burris in the flat, and Robbie Bryant the catch. Close to the first down stick. Might be enough as Bryant comes up limping.
Steve Middleton was, you know, he understands the situation with Zumpas. Yeah, you can see that Robbie Bryant is trying to stay in the huddle. Looked like it was Nick, and they both kind of on the sideline collided. There's the low hit, and Nick Lewis, his own teammate, caught him as he was trying to spin out of that one.
See, even Nick hits low.
Robbie Bryant trying to shake that off.
Gets a little more time here as the chains come out. Looks like they're just short.
You know, I was mentioning Steve Middleton, you know, with Dimitri Zumpas now back with the Calgary Stampeders, obviously puts a lot of pressure on him. He's the guy that won the job to replace Zumpas, and you know, when he heard the news was saying, you know, this makes us a better team and it gives us great depth, and he's obviously okay with it, understands his role changes when Zumpas gets up to speed.
Second and short, and they push ahead for the first down with Drew Tate at the controls. I think that was the big focal point of concern outside of the Calgary Stampeders camp, how they would handle the offensive line in the absence of Zumpas departing, Jesse Newman, Jeff Pilon retiring. But the guys that have been here have done the job, and it will only get better with an all-star like Zumpas returning.
And John Huffnagel knew he had an anchor in Ben Archibald at left tackle. He started there and worked himself across with Dan Comiskey, the veteran, and feels pretty good about it now.
Henry Burris, 9 of his last 10, and he hits Kenyon Rambo with another completion to the 15. And another Calgary first down.
Interesting matchup. This was the same one that Henry Burris made the big play to Kenyon Rambo for the touchdown as he got Rambo inside working on Stanley Franks. It's a similar situation on that play.
Late flag on that play.
Objectionable conduct. BC number 6, 10-yard penalty. First down.
Stanley Franks. So there is some chirping going on down there, and that's no surprise between BC and Calgary. Rambo earlier in the game flagged for that.
The foul was elite. Objectionable conduct. BC number 6. It's a 10-yard penalty. It will be first down.
Must have been something, yeah, it was something he said, because it didn't look on the play that there was anything wrong with the tackle.
So they take it half the distance. It'll be first and goal from the 8. Under 2 minutes left, first half. Calgary threatening to grab the lead. There's that fake, and Burris to the corner is out about the 2-yard line. And a little slow to get up.
Dante Marsh flew up there from the corner spot. Henry Burris was trying to get right to that corner cone, and he's a little rattled.
Yeah, he's a little foggy right now.
He gets outside of Brent Johnson. Tough situation for the big defensive end, but here comes the hit. Looks like he might have hit his head on the ground. Really looked woozy. Dan Comiskey's asking him a couple questions.
And Pat Clayton now over. So it'll be Drew Tate's job to get it into the end zone.
There was no helmet-to-helmet contact, so
And Marsh over to.
I think he'll be okay. Just took him a second. It looked like when he hit his head along the ground that he just got a little woozy right there. Karan Williams also in chase. Yeah, it was the contact to the ground. Well, Drew Tate will come in for 3 plays. He'll have to, but this is Joffrey Reynolds territory anyway.
Tate off and in on short yardage, and now down on the goal line from. He's going to roll out. There is a flag as he throws into the end zone, and that's a touchdown, Rob Cote. Drew Tate, has he thrown his first touchdown pass in the CFL? Or does the flag nullify the play?
Offside. BC defensive line. That penalty's declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
So Tate to Cote, an unlikely touchdown combination, gives Calgary the lead.
Well, it's a good call by Dave Dickinson here, because he's assuming that the BC Lions are going to think, with Drew Tate in the game, we're going to give it on the 1-yard line to our running back Joffrey Reynolds, play it conservative, play the percentages, and go a little play action and let the kid throw.
Rob Cote had a touchdown last year in the overtime tie against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and he has his first of 2010 to give Calgary the lead with 1:43 left in this first half.
Boy, Henry Burris talks very highly about the potential of Drew Tate. Really believes that he will be a star for a long time when he gets his opportunity. At 35 years old, it's not far away. I'm not saying that Henry Burris doesn't have some real good years left in him. Every time I talk about the future at the quarterback position in the Canadian Football League, Henry Burris brings up Drew Tate's name. I know he's a teammate, but he also talks about other guys across the league, one being Travis Lulay on the other sideline, but he sees him every day in practice too.
Burris looking okay after that flash knockdown. They'll ask him some questions at the bench, and if he gets them all right and they get some time for him to collect his thoughts, he looks like he's going to be fine and back in for the next series if Calgary gets the ball again before the half is over. Giannis Davis with a good return, trying to kickstart the Lions up across the 50. Well, CFL on TSN action continues on Thursday. The Canadian Football Hall of Fame game, the Lions taking on the Rough Riders. Live coverage begins here on TSN with the Samsung pregame show beginning at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. Looking forward to that.
That guy was 50%. I think it is.
Tracy Ham, Alfred Payton, Donald Narcisse going into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. Lule comes out throwing, and Arsenault off the turf. That's incomplete. Tried to sell it.
They're saying no. They waved it off quickly, but Arsenault, he got both hands on it, but did he get his hand underneath the turf? He's trying to encourage Wally Bono to possibly challenge this. He can have a real good look at it for you. Looked like that did touch the ground.
Got a good view on this near side, and the challenge flag back in the pocket, 2nd and 10. And this one complete. That's a first down catch. Ball popped loose. Leroy Simon, now they're saying no catch. And Simon not going to, oh, he will. He says, give it the challenge. I thought he would challenge that. Well, and now the challenge flag comes out.
Now the question here is was Leroy Simon down by contact before the ball came out of there? Because Anderson kept ripping away at it. And there was contact made basically when he made the catch. So here's the catch. Down goes Simon.
Yeah, he's down before the ball popped out, it would appear.
Down right now.
BC is challenging the ruling on the
And
field.
the ball out there.
Pass. The play will be reviewed.
But Giroy was so cool about it. I thought he'd come out really arguing, and then just gave it the signal to the bench, throw the flag. Let's get on with it.
Now he does have to show possession. He does have to survive the contact with the ground. And I know slow motion, when they look at it at slow motion, has been a bit of an issue in trying to time up whether or not he has possession of the football when he hits the ground. Because, you know, if he dives, even without a defender, he has to hold on to the football.
That ball does look like it may be coming out on further review.
So did he have possession of the ball? It looks like he has possession there. Secured possession. Now it's starting to come out a little bit.
And the ruling on the field was incomplete.
It's closer than first thought.
Upon review, the ruling on the field stands. It is an incomplete pass. It will be third down.
Yeah, that's a good call by the officials who made the right call on the field.
Yeah, it just because, you know, the factor being, I know we look at first at down by contact. That's the first thought. And he certainly was. But he didn't secure possession because you have to survive the impact of the ground.
So McCallum boots it away. Flag down. Murphy down at the 29. Jason Araki, first man downfield, as he often is.
Burris has plenty of time here to put a drive together.
Calgary number 27. While the ball was in the air, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Brandon Browner is called on the hold, so that'll push Henry Burris back. And he is back after being woozy on the run to the BC2 to set up the last Calgary touchdown.
Boy, he is on target. I mentioned 71% of his passes complete over the last 2 wins. He's over 80% in this game so far in this first half.
Been a different guy since the 4-interception game in Toronto. Joffrey Reynolds straight ahead. Big gain for Reynolds, plowing up to the 26.
Tremendous blocking up front. Steve Middleton, Tim O'Neill, they just open up big holes. They control Steve Williams right here. Some nice blocks as they double team right there. That takes away one Lion defender. And then on the backside, Dan Comiskey seals. That's just picture perfect blocking up front.
17 for Reynolds, now within 60 yards of 8,000 in his career. And they'll pitch to Reynolds right side. And with a hurdle up, he goes to the 34-yard line, and 7 more for Joffrey Reynolds.
That last play, the offensive line actually took a man, and we got the double team. This time you're going to see a little different technique from Calgary, basically just sliding to their right and allowing Joffrey Reynolds to go ahead and pick his own hole. So on the snap of the ball, all 5 of those offensive linemen take off to the right, try and pick up any man that flashes in front of them. Joffrey Reynolds can pick and weave his way through it.
Lions take the timeout, hoping they can come up with a stop and get the ball back with 49 on the clock here.
The panel in the prior to the game and in the Sports Center hit that they did to set up the doubleheader for these games tonight talked about Saskatchewan, Montreal being the 2 top teams in the Canadian Football League. You're not going to get an argument from me on that. But this Calgary Stampeder team, I know they debated it. With the additions they made, Kenyon Rambo back, it's a good football team in Calgary.
Well, they handled Saskatchewan 40-20, and I think this team has resembled in a lot of ways the one that won the Cup in 2008. Wally Buono called the timeout, and now they get the stop they were looking for. And they'll get the ball back with decent field position, unless Burke Dales gets away one of his big kicks.
Well, it's been a tough season for Wally Buono at 1-4, and as you mentioned, Chris, if he goes to 1-5, that'd be a first. But that's a good decision by the coach. And remember, he has 113 more wins than the rest of the coaches in the Canadian Football League combined. So let's make a good decision or two along the way.
You're saying he's been around the block?
Yes.
Oh, big contact there. Andrew Harris, the former junior star. John Cornish lost his helmet, and you could tell he liked that contact.
It took Andrew Harris a second to remember exactly where he was, but there's been some good hits on the special teams. Saw Brandon Brown earlier, John Cornish throwing his body in there.
Harris, junior football's all-time touchdown leader. Former winner of the Wally Buono Award. Top junior player in the country. So Lule has just over a half minute to work with, starting at the BC 42. And he has an open man, and for the first time tonight, Derek Armstrong has a catch, and he's into Calgary territory at the Stamp 53.
He wanted to pick up a few more yards. He could have tried to get out of bounds there to give his quarterback maybe a second or two more. But one more catch like that, and the BC Lions are in field goal range.
Right up to the line, and they snap the ball about a second after Andre Proulx whistled it in. Now they'll get out of bounds and stop the clock on a catch by O'Neal Wilson, close to a first down.
This is what I like to see from Travis Lule. If you're a BC Lions fan and you've got a quarterback like Lule, he's young, inexperienced, get him on his feet, get him rolling, get him moving the pocket, slide protection, let the offensive line slide to the side he's going to, get him on the run so he's a threat to either run or throw the football.
And it's close enough for a measurement, which gives Lule a chance to go to the sidelines and confer with Jacques Chapdelaine, and maybe Jarius Jackson will come in. Not sure they do that with time a factor here. So it's 2nd and inches. Lule checks back in. They are just in Paul McCallum range. they'd like to get it closer.
They have some choices here. They can take a shot here and be in field goal range right now, albeit a long one, and maybe try and catch the Calgary Stampeders thinking it's just going to be a short yardage play. They do leave Travis Lule in.
Or get the first down, then take a shot.
Yeah, you could. So there are some options.
Well, they'll take a shot. And now Lule will step up. He's got the first down and took a hit. Johan Simpson, the middle linebacker, with the stop at the 32. A dozen seconds on the clock. Time for one more play.
Travis Lule trying to squeeze another one out before they bring in the field goal team. Well within the range of Paul McCallum now.
Well, they're lined up, and now the clock starts. And again, quickly back to work. Lule running out of time and throws it away. That's the mistake. He did not want to repeat what he did last week, did he?
That's right. And that's showing you that there is growth, and he did learn. He didn't like what he saw. Pretty good coverage. He's looking for Geroy Simon deep. He was covered by Milt Collins. And this time Lule took a look at the clock, realized he only had a few seconds left, and threw it away in time to get his field goal team on the field.
He did get it into field goal range for McCallum, who now will attempt from 38 yards out. 11 for 12 on the year. His only miss from 45 last week at Commonwealth. Final play, first half, and Paul McCallum has drilled another. And it will be a 4-point Calgary lead at halftime.
CFL football.
And there's that short song again that we saw in the first halftime. Hi, everybody. Dave Randorf, Jock Climbing, Matt Dunnigan, and Chris Schultz. You know, it's been an excellent week of football, hasn't it? We've had some great games. Looks like this one is going to be the exact same 17-13 Calgary at the half. Big game. Calgary's trying to take over top spot in the West. BC trying to avoid that 1-5 start, which would be a disaster with a capital D. We were joking a little bit prior to kickoff about this whole Twitter. Sorry, Twitter, tweet,
whatever.
I don't know. I obviously don't tweet. Do you tweet?
No, don't look at me.
Well, you know, the whole Corey Banks thing, Nick Lewis, it's added a bit of an edge to this game, wouldn't you say, Schultz?
Tell the folks about it. Do they know about it?
Yeah, they were talking about it through the whole game.
Well, let's hope they were paying attention.
They were. Nick Lewis and Corey Banks got into it on Twitter, and it has added an edge to the game.
I really think it has, and I think the reason is you got to understand pro football players. When they get to the locker room, they change their mentality, their emotion. They go from nice, law-abiding citizens to assassins. So Nick Lewis says, man, you guys are hitting us way too much down by the legs. Well, I'll show you. I'll hit your receiver right down the legs. Now, watch this one here. Here's the pass. Here's the turn. Man, that is vicious. You don't think they know that Nick Lewis is saying you guys hit too much at the legs? Here's another one. Bang, the right leg. And here's a serious one on Rondy Bryant, because Rondy Bryant got up after this low hit right at the legs, and he was seriously limping. Now, is this a big issue? Is it a comical issue? Well, you know, it is a little bit of everything. But then why is there the visual evidence on the viciousness of those hits to the legs? Nick Lewis, you should never have done that.
Bulletin board material has been given a whole new genre with Twitter.
Cyber bulletin board.
Yeah, and you can't do it. Because it does impact the football game. It gives people extra motivation to go out there and try to hurt you in ways that you don't want to be hurt. And DBs used to complain, they always complain about, receivers complain about being hit too low. It is part of the game, but you have a choice as a DB to hit high or low. They're making a choice right now thanks to Nick Lewis, and they're all paying the price. Nick Lewis is big and strong. Of course he wants to be hit up high. It ain't going to happen.
Yeah, I was always taught to get the pig fat before the roast, pump them up, tell them how good they are. Then when you beat them, it tastes better, right? Yeah. You know, it's a lot better. And this obviously, Dave, has added an edge to it. And I believe that, you know, what's happened here, too, is that both these defenses are playing with a sense of urgency and are really trying to fly around and make things happen. And therefore, you're seeing this tenacious style of no holds barred, let's go make it happen. And hey, I'm David Sanchez, and I got Joffrey Reynolds out in the flat, and he's not looking at me. I'm taking him out low too, you know, because you don't want to take him up because he'll bounce off you, he'll make you look silly, and next thing you know, he's in the end zone. So they're doing what they have to do. And man, my opinion is when you put on those pads, just like Corey Banks said in the interview, it's like you signed on. You know what pro football is all about. It's a collision sport. It's not a contact sport. Things are going to happen out there, and they're not going to be fun to watch and to feel.
Well, I think this one's definitely got an intense feel, and I think the Lions are showing the appropriate amount of desperation to avoid a 1-5 start. Earlier today on TSN, game one of our Saturday night doubleheader saw the Hamilton Tiger Cats getting their second win of the season. Both have come against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Good game, 29-22. Ticats hang on for the win. Another massive night for Arland Bruce. 272 yards receiving last week, 197 in this one. It went right down to the wire. The Bombers had a chance to tie it late. How do you think they managed the clock at the end there?
Well, they had a chance to tie it late, first of all, because the Hamilton Tiger Cats decided to go for 2 and didn't get it, made it a 7-point ball game at the end of everything because the points going back and forth. But, Matty, this was an incredible play to bring it down to the 3-yard line. I'm just not sure about the play call and decision.
Well, I don't know how it got deep anyways. You know, it's got Tisdale's, you know, jumping on the hitch, you know, and then this play here, it's like, what, there's, how many seconds were on the clock? 8, 9 seconds?
There was 9 seconds to go, and they only got one play off.
Let's talk about that. You know, it's like, all right, first of all, you get the big play down to the 3-yard line, and, you know, the chains have got to move, defense got to get down there, offense got to get down there. You got your headset on. Coach is supposed to be talking to you. I'm thinking you got to get at least 2 plays here. You got to have a play call before the ball snaps, snap the ball, run the play, throw it in the end zone, see if you can't get it. And if not, you got another shot at it, kick it, can you get 2 for 1.
Yeah.
They only got 1 shot there. And
remember that this is a CFL, and the clock will stop until the referee sets the ball.
Exactly.
And that means they had whole 50 yards to get down there, call a play, and have a play ready to go when the ball snapped. They could have got 2 off. That's the first thing. The second thing, though, Winnipeg's going to have a lesson to learn here, I think. I mean, Stephen Giles, the coaching staff, with the play call, the game's on the line, the ball's in the 3-yard line, you go play action. You think Hamilton's going to think you're going to run the football?
Well, we're just talking about management of that. You know, you're talking about the play. I mean, that's just a choice. You know, we saw Travis Lulay at the end of this half, Schulte manage the clock extremely well. There's 12 seconds on the clock. He got 2 plays in. They kicked the field goal, put points on the board. Why can't the Winnipeg Blue Bombers do that in the same situation?
Well, they should have. And in a lot of ways, that was mismanaged. And also, in the Hamilton Ticats, they should be humble. They did not play well for the first 2/3 of the first half. There's no Buck Pierce in this game, no wide receiver Terrence Jeffers Howard in terms of his ability to play. So the next game going into the Winnipeg, it'll be tough for Hamilton to win. Congratulations, but be humble.
Meantime, the East Division gets a little tighter, a little more competitive from top to bottom, while the West, you know, right now it's a 2-horse race unless the Lions can come back and take care of business against the Stamps, who have the lead 17-13. We're at the half. You're watching the CFL on TSN. Welcome back. Here are your halftime numbers brought to you by Tim Hortons, the proud sponsor of the CFL. Jocko?
Well, this is a real close ball game, obviously, and the stats bear that out. But Calgary right now is on track. When you look at what they've been doing on average in terms of passing and rushing, they're on track for their season average. BC, for passing and rushing, for both categories, about 40 yards short of what they normally have. And I think that might have an impact during the second half if BC doesn't pick it up just a tad.
John Hufnagel has never lost to Wally Buono. He's got a 4-point lead, and he just spoke with our Farhan Lalji.
John, I know at times of this season, finishing has been a problem. How important was it for you guys to finish some drives in the second quarter?
Well, we finally got something going in the second quarter. In that first quarter offensively, we had the one big play for a touchdown, but it was tough sledding. Second quarter, we started moving the football and got some points.
Talk a bit about the defense and the unconventional looks you guys have shown at times against this young O-line and quarterback.
Well, we're just trying to do some confusing things out there. And, but, you know, they've done a good job, and we got one sometimes, but they've protected the quarterback other times.
Thanks, John.
Right.
Looks like the rain has eased up at Empire Field, where the BC Lions have yet to win a game, and it's a close one. Second half coming up. Brent Wallace is here with a Sports Center update to update us on big happenings with the Blue Jays today.
Very impressive debut, Dave. Thanks very much. And the Blue Jays got an exciting glimpse of their future today down at Rogers Center as they took on the Tampa Bay Rays. Great debut for Toronto rookie catcher JP Arencibia. This is his second home run of the game. He finished 4 for 5. The Jays hit 8 homers in total as they beat the Rays 17-11. Red Sox, Yankees, bottom of 5, tied at 2. Robinson Cano bloops one to right. Nick Swisher scores the go-ahead run. The Yankees go on to win this one 5-2. And at the Bridgestone Invitational, Tiger Woods' struggles continue. He shot a 5 over 75 in the third round to fall to 11 over for the tournament. He's 78th out of an 80-player field. Full highlights on those stories and much more in SportsCenter coming your way right after the Stamps game. We'll get you back to BC right after this.
Stamped by 4, headed to the second half. First for Henlalci and Wally Bono.
Wally, your team stayed in the locker room a little bit longer given what's happened. Did anything more need to be said?
No, it wasn't about that. It was just about doing the adjustments, and obviously it's a long hike up there and a long hike back.
Talk a bit about the play of your quarterback. Started a little slow, but seemed to get comfortable in the second quarter.
I think you got to get used to the style of defense. They showed us a couple of new wrinkles, which took a little time to get to, and you know, things have settled down. It's a tough game like we expected.
Thanks, Wally.
Yeah.
There were some different wrinkles in that first half that Travis Lulay dealt with against the Calgary defense.
Yeah, they showed a little movement up front and some of that unconventional type looking defenses from Chris Jones, and Travis Lulay did take a while, a couple of 2-and-outs out of the gate, but he looked pretty good when he started to get on that roll. Chris Jones, if he's got movement on that defensive front seven, you know, they could get caught in some different blocking angles. So if Lulay can get on the move, throw from the run, maybe they can start to put first downs together. But the Calgary Stampeders defensively, when they hold a team to 20 points or less, are perfect. 18-0.
And 7-0. John Hufnagel against Wally Bono, who brought him into the coaching ranks. Dion Murphy with the return to start this second half up across the 35-yard line. And let's check the quarterback numbers through 30 minutes.
Burris had a tremendous completion percentage in that first half. And the yards, 147. Remember the first quarter, BC Lions had the time of possession edge. They had almost 10 minutes of the first quarter. 11 of 19. And again, I thought Travis Lulay looked his best when he was throwing from the run.
Corners the running back. First down and into the flat. Nick Lewis is cut down on the low hit by Stanley Franks.
You know he's going to get it. You know that's exactly how they're going to do it. And there's Corey Banks walking right over and says, that's the low hit you were talking about. Was that the one you were talking about on Twitter?
Noise onto the field.
Short gain for Lewis. And it'll be 2nd and 6. And they make some noise here at Empire, trying to disrupt this Calgary offense. Flag, and they do disrupt it. Time count violation.
Yeah, and that's what happened.
Time count violation. Calgary number 1. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
You chuck that one right up to the fans. That's called home field advantage, or home Empire field advantage in this case.
And that's what we're doing here tonight, and you're doing it right now. Let's get even louder.
Pressure now 4 as Henderson comes late. Long out. Caught by Murphy, but short gain. It'll be 3rd down. And a punting situation for Calgary.
That's the difference between 2nd and medium and 2nd and long. And the time count violation for John Hufnagel's offense put him in 2nd and long. That one you chalk up to the fans here at Empire Field. It also makes it difficult for communication now with the quarterbacks with that speaker in their helmet. Dave Dickinson trying to communicate with Henry Burris. If the crowd's going off the hook, it's hard to communicate in that respect as well.
Burke Dales, this one shorter kick. Flag down. And Giannis Davis is tackled at the 33-yard line. We'll sort out the flag when we come back to Empire Field. Well, no yards, 15-yard variety. Charged to Torian Allen, the rookie of the Stampeders. So Travis Lulay enjoys great field position at the Lion 49. Into the hands of Robertson. Up to the 52. He has 3.
Boy, he got out of the gate in a big way when the BC Lions got their only win of the season against Edmonton. Jamal Robertson rushed 10 times for 168 yards and a touchdown. And you can see how his production has dropped off since then.
Last week, 69 of his 84 yards came on 1 carry. 7 for 15 the rest of the game against Edmonton. Second down, look out! Keon Raymond threw his hands, thought he had a quick 6.
Oh, yeah, and he hangs on, and he does, because there's no one close. No one in the same area code for Keon Raymond. He gets just a great jump on this one. Inside receiver, Travis Lulay tries to look him off. He kind of locks in there. And there is not an orange jersey close if he hangs on to that pass.
Raymond has 2 interceptions, leading the Stamps in that category. Murphy on the return. And Iraqi with the tackle on Dion Murphy. So both teams started slowly in the first half with back-to-back 2-and-outs each, and see if Calgary can get things going here in the second half.
You know what I've noticed the Calgary Stampeders receivers doing is that they're attacking the line of scrimmage, and then Henry Burris, which he's done a little bit last year, will stop his cadence and then restart. And the reason they're doing that is to get the BC Lions defensively to declare if they're going to blitz or not.
Inside. Joffrey lunging ahead across the 30-yard line.
Especially like to do it on second down, and it's just a matter of you're trying to time it up. The
2nd and 6. Pressure from Reddick, and that through the hands of Nick Lewis. Incomplete. You get another look at that. That looked like an easy catch. Did he take his eye off the ball?
He looked like he may have peeked. Anthony Reddick went head over heels trying to get to Henry Burris and couldn't. He was picked up nicely. Good block by Joffrey Reynolds. So there was a throwing lane, and
wow. That doesn't happen very often. Dales. Good move. Giannis Davis back at his 25. Cuts back. And Tay George there to bring him down. Still 17-13 after the 53-yard boot by Dales. Well, it's Purelator Tackle Hunger Night here in Vancouver. Fans get a chance to pose with the Grey Cup.
I'm guessing if he played football, he was a linebacker.
You're wearing Willie Fleming's helmet, or autographed helmet, or sack tally, brought to you by Purelator. Tackling Hunger across Canada, check. 2 sacks for Calgary tonight, 1 for BC, and a short gain for Jamal Robertson as that defense has been tough against the run, ranked number 2 against the run, number 3 against the pass, and Chris Jones' defense is top 2 in 14 of 25 categories.
Well, and it comes from different guys. They do it by committee. 9 different players on Chris Jones' defense has registered a sack this season. And different looks again, just 1 down lineman as they scramble around and move around and get it on the fly.
Lulay running out of time, but he's got Paris Jackson. And did he make the catch? No, incomplete. There is a flag, and it wouldn't have counted anyway, as there was a holding call against the Lions. And Jackson a little slow to get up.
Boy, a real different look from this Calgary defense. Tom Johnson's going to end up squirting through there. And there's Paris Jackson. He just lands on his back. And both the Calgary guys, Dwight Anderson ran towards the Lions bench.
BC number 64. Flying, third down.
Center Angus Reid.
Looked like Paris Jackson. Maybe he said something about his back. Didn't feel right. They're trying to get the trainers out, and then he shook it off and got up.
Well, this is the way the first half started. We've now seen 4 consecutive 2-and-outs by these two teams to start the second half. And the Stamps should get pretty good field position here. McCallum, an end-over-end kick that does hit the turf and bounces to Murphy at his 51. And Murphy is dangerous. Brings it back to the line, 47, an 11-yard return. Great field position for Calgary. Let's go back to the Empire Field sidelines and Farhan Lalji.
Chris, I want to take you back to late in the second half, right here at the BC 2-yard line when Henry Burris got taken out of bounds. At that time, it looked like he was injured, but it turns out he was never hurt at all. One of his linemen came up to him, asked if he was okay. Burris was laughing the whole time and said, "I'm fine. I just want Drew to come into the game and score." The two of them have become very close. Tate has really been taken under his wing by Burris and learned quite a bit from him, but don't expect Burris to step aside anytime soon. He's now talking about what Anthony Calvillo and Damon Allen have been able to do at a late age. He plans to play a while longer.
Okay. I think that's like the boxer that didn't hear the count and then all of a sudden thinks he could have beaten it. Here's a little pass downfield and almost picked off, almost caught on the tip off the fingertips of Davis Sanchez.
Made the play to Kenyon Rambo in the first quarter. This time Henry Burris tries to get it through Davis Sanchez, who's in absolute perfect position. I mentioned his good game last week. Well, he's backing it up again. He had the best shot at that football.
You know, Glenn, the Lions have always been ball hawks, but he is the only member of the secondary with an interception so far this year. He has a pair. Lions with only 3 picks so far this season. And there's a catch by Ryan Thelwell for a first down. His first catch, the former Lion who spent 6 years here.
And Ryan Thelwell, is the timing on this one is absolutely perfect because he makes this break right here. The ball is on its way. 1, 2, 3, 4 balls on its way now. Turns around, bam, it's right in his hands. And you cannot defend that with that kind of timing.
So Henry Burris distributing the football. 8th different receiver with the catch on the night. And a first down at the Lion 35. And now into the hands of Robbie Bryant, and he has 4 brought down by Davis Sanchez as they continue their duel.
You know, this offensive line just gets better and will. We talked about Demetrius Suplas coming back. Well, the Lions are continuing to try and get some pressure on Henry Burris, and it's just been a wall in front of him, whether it be Joffrey Reynolds stepping in to pick up blitz or the line reacting correctly, because right now Burris is not bothered by any type of blitz or stunt from the Lions.
Second and 6. Here comes pressure. Got it away. Flags down. Bryant and Sanchez. There's a flag in the secondary and a flag in the offensive backfield. And Sanchez is one of the guilty parties.
Holding, Calgary number 60. Pass interference, BC number 2. Both fouls are offsetting each other. We'll replay the down. Second down.
So replay the down. It will still be 2nd and 6. Dan Comiskey and Davis Sanchez trading infractions.
Well, similar to one of the ones we had last night in Edmonton, and Davis Sanchez on this play, he's allowed to maintain his position as long as his shoulder pads are square and make contact with Robbie Bryant. Now, are his shoulder pads square to the line of scrimmage when he makes that contact? Because the ball wasn't in the air when he did hit him.
So 2nd and 6 all over again. More heat. Completion. Thelwell. First down. Dropped at the 13-yard line by Anthony Reddick. Ryan Thelwell, like Kenyon Rambo, on the comeback trail, coming off a torn Achilles last year.
Well, and he's got the Lions secondary guessing a little bit. The last route he ran on Davis Sanchez was this one. Well, this time he's going to come in here. So now he's trying to use basically the same takeoff, the same get-off that he had on that out, except the opposite direction into the middle. Finds a hole, and again, good blitz pickup by the Calgary offensive line and Joffrey Reynolds.
So first down at the 13. Burris gets it away into the corner, incomplete. Trying to find Kenyon Rambo in the end zone for the 2nd time tonight.
And this is the first time that the Lions catch that offensive line. Steve Middleton went down to help out the center, Tim O'Neill, and Anthony Reddick came on the blitz, and that's why Henry Burris could not get the football out of there with any sort of accuracy.
Like Burris wanted a flag.
Here he comes, and it looked like Burris thought he might have got him in the head.
Second and 10, and the fans amp it up. Underneath, another penalty. Franklin the catch for short yardage. And it's holding against Calgary and likely to be declined.
Well, when the BC Lions sent 5, they were picked up well. When they sent 6, Joffrey Reynolds joined the blocking. They were picked up well, and the Lions decided we got to keep throwing people at Henry Burris. So I think this is going to be against. It's like it's in that holding area.
Calgary, that penalty's declined. 3rd down.
So the field goal team will come on for John Huffnagel. As the drive stalls.
Let's take a look at how many BC Lions are going to end up coming on the play. There's a couple just out of the screen there. There's the 6 that you can see, but they're going to load it up and bring even more. Here comes 1, Tad Crawford, 9 total blitzers on the play for Henry Burris.
Another short attempt from Averb. He's hit from 19 and now 17 yards out. 7-point Calgary lead. 2013 with just over 6 minutes remaining, 3rd quarter. So the lead is 7 as Burris confers with his receiving core on what went wrong when the drive stalled deep.
I'm my dad. Hey, baby. Hey, boys. How y'all doing? We're going to get it done.
Short kick on the turf. And here's Harris. At the 44-yard line, Andrew Harris.
Chris Jones is mixing things up and giving this offensive line and young quarterback a lot of different looks. He's got all kinds of movement. We saw it in that first half. You can see there's only 1 down lineman on the play there. Devon Claybrooks, Wes Lysek coming from the safety. They're trying to get a run at the pass rush so they can cause confusion for the offensive line for the Lions and for the blitz pickup. So they're getting a free guy because of it.
Travis Lulay looking downfield for Arsenault. Great catch over Dwight Anderson. Flag in the backfield. And a late hit on Lulay. They'll tack on more.
He's put some air under the deep ball.
Roughing the passer. Calgary number 91. 15-yard penalty. First down.
First 30-yard play for Emmanuel Arsenault this year.
Gets press coverage from Dwight Anderson, outside release, and then times his jump perfectly to catch that ball at the high point and keep both feet in bounds.
A guy who had some critical drops a couple of weeks ago, but a dangerous threat for the Lions it wide out. Quickly out to Giannis Davis, and that play broken up by the safety, Wes Lysak.
And that play, Travis Lulay had to throw it through Juwan Simpson, who was absolutely free. And it seems to me that almost every single throwing down for Travis Lulay, he has a free man. And it's not because the Calgary Stampeders are overloading anything. It's because they're confusing the blocking schemes by the BC Lions. Not like they're sending 7 or 8 guys, but you saw Juwan Simpson there. He almost had to throw it around his body.
So just 1 second and 9. Lulay scrambling, and he fires a completion. And Paris Jackson has the catch and a first down inside the Calgary 10.
A conversation with Travis Lulay before the game, and I said, how do you feel about your progression over the last 2? And he said, actually, you know, he looked at me with that sort of a smile and said, other than the obvious mistakes that I've made, I really do feel like I'm starting to get comfortable. And he's the guy who talked to me about when he throws on the run. He liked to do it in college when he's at Montana State. He likes to do it, and he's comfortable in that area.
First and goal, looking for the tying touchdown. Robertson, and he is stuffed. And Calgary's had the answer for Jamel Robertson all night. Big Devon Claybrooks, the run stopper. Only game he didn't play was the only game that Calgary was vulnerable on the ground when Toronto ran up 184 yards of rushing against the Stamps.
Now Corey Boyd's done that against a couple of teams here this year, including the Edmonton Eskimos last night.
So now second and goal. Simon in motion. Lulay into the end zone, incomplete.
And Simon, Geroy Simon was absolutely wide open. When you called him in motion there, and you could see the reaction from Travis Lulay because he had him. And the reaction from Geroy Simon was about the same.
Yes, it was. You could see his body language telling you that that was a missed opportunity.
Well, that was a tough catch for Paris Jackson. That's the second time he's had his legs pulled out from underneath him. There's Geroy coming out of the backfield, and look how he has leverage and is wide open. He turns and walks in.
I get so disappointed.
So Paris Jackson has been punished on a couple of occasions tonight. Slow to get up a little earlier and feeling it again.
I think he's saying to the training staff, that's twice now in the same game. I've got the legs cut out from underneath me and landed square on my tailbone and back.
Figuring more prominently in the offense tonight, Paris Jackson, and now McCallum trying to get the Lions back within 4. An easy one for McCallum, and now it's 20-16.
There's the conversation you knew was going to happen. Geroy Simon gets to the bench, said, run the same play in the same situation, and I'm wide open. Now, receivers, generally speaking, think they're open all the time. But in that particular case, Geroy Simon is correct. He was open. And the medical staff still taking a look at Paris Jackson.
Stampeders take over at their 35 after the field goal. John Cornish. And this time they corral Cornish and push him back as Karan Williams was there. Ryan Phillips in the hole as well. On TSN's live coverage of all 4 rounds of the 2010 PGA Championship begin Thursday. Opening round action from Whistling Straits getting underway at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific.
An Elvis impersonator at halftime. Of course, Elvis performed at Empire Stadium years and years ago. The real one.
Burris slings that, nearly picked off. Davis Thomas Sanchez jumping the route intended for R.J. Franklin. There is a flag in the Lions secondary.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if R.J. Franklin might be part of this. Henry Burris is indicating
on the receiver. BC number 24, 10-yard penalty.
Had nothing to do with
First
the
down.
I thought Franklin might get called. Busting up the interception bid, but away from the football. Corey Banks bumped a receiver, and that gives Calgary first down.
Corey Banks matched up in this game on Nick Lewis right there. As they hit the line of scrimmage, he's going to grab him on the shoulder pads and turn him inside.
First down, Burris has time. He's got Rambo picked off. Stanley Franks with the interception, his first in the CFL. And that's the first turnover of the night.
Kenyon Rambo trying to run that corner route. We talked about one of the first series of the game. Kenyon Rambo goes down and gets a touchdown on a similar pattern. And this time, Stanley Franks times it up perfectly, comes underneath. That ball thrown well underneath Kenyon Rambo, though.
Yeah, Rambo was open, and the ball behind him, and Henry Burris been picked off for the 9th time this year. Just the 4th interception for the Lions. Lulay in trouble, and he is dropped. Tom Johnson has Malik Jackson with the sack. And Malik Jackson has 2 of the 3 Calgary sacks on the night.
There he goes. Lots of people up in the box. That's why Jamal Robertson's had a tough night. And that's why the BC Lions are trying to throw behind it.
The loss of 9, 2nd and 19, and that funky formation from the Calgary defense. Lulay has time, though. That ball picked off. Dwight Anderson. Open road. Only Lulay. Now back into the flow and stopped at the 10. Thought he might go, but they exchange interceptions, and Anderson brings his back 47 yards.
Tom Johnson caused some problems for Travis Lulay, and it looked like he had to adjust his throwing motion with big number 77 right in the throwing lane. And when he does that, now Dwight Anderson takes advantage of it. First of all, look at 77 here. Looked like Travis Lulay was just trying to throw that nice curl. Now watch, he gets in the throwing lane, and Travis Lulay adjusts his throwing motion a little bit and has to put a little more air on it. Now it's way off target. He knew immediately.
Yeah, I think he was defending before Anderson caught the ball. Burris into the end zone. Incomplete. Almost a circus catch by Lewis.
Now let's look what happens at the result of Tom Johnson's pressure. So he gets in the throwing lane. You're going to try and see this curl route here with Dwight Anderson on the corner. Now he's going to drop back. Now, if this ball is on the money and on time, and Lulay doesn't have to adjust, you can see that inside position that Derek Armstrong has. But because he had to adjust his throwing motion, put a little more air under it, Dwight Anderson says, thank you very much.
2nd interception of the year for Anderson. 2nd and 10. Burris, end zone, touchdown. Ryan Thelwell, the former Lion, has his first major score of the year.
No safety in the middle for the BC Lions. Henry Burris is a veteran. When he sees no Tad Crawford standing back there to take away a play like this, he's just going to throw it up and let Thelwell run underneath it.
On the final play of the 3rd quarter. Makes the comeback for Ryan Thelwell feel even better. The extra point from Rob Maver. As the Stampeders expand their lead to 11. Third quarter stats brought to you by Tim Hortons, proud sponsor of the CFL.
Well, the Calgary Stampeders starting to pile on the yards now and trying to walk away with this. Remember the stat, Chris Jones' defense 18-0 when they hold the opponent to 20 points or less, and right now the Lions can't get to that 20 mark.
Another stat for you, it's now 51 points off turnovers for Calgary as they lead in that department. Travis Lulay's every mistake he seems to make, the Lions pay for it, don't they?
You know, it's not really been his fault tonight when you're looking at the BC Lions perspective, but you wonder if it's time for Wally Guano to possibly take a look at Jarius Jackson and see if that can give his team a little bit of a spark, and maybe Jarius Jackson can recognize these defenses a little bit quicker.
May for the kickoff. Giannis Davis trying to get outside, and he's not going anywhere. We'll find out how you can create your own plays at NissanArmchairHero.com.
Most important football player in the game is the quarterback. John Hufnagel understands that, so he's even going to bring in his star receivers in Robbie Bryant and Kenyon Rambo to help protect Henry Burris so that he can throw his touchdown to Ryan Thelwell. They have picked up every blitz the Lions have thrown at him, and they're even using receivers to do it.
Make the pitch, rolling to the right, and in trouble again. Lulay. And is that a completion? Derek Armstrong down. They'll confer, and they're going to mark it as a catch.
Travis Lulay has not seen many completions standing up. If he's seen him from ground level, and this is just another example because pressure all over him. And was that a catch? Looks like he did get his hands underneath it.
Robert McCune had a shot at Travis Lulay. 2 interceptions in 3 plays. The Lions don't do anything with theirs, and Henry Burris into the end zone to Ryan Thelwell to expand Calgary's lead. Second and short, Robertson. Good time a better hole for Jamal Robertson. That's one of his best runs of the night. Up across the 40 and a first down.
Yeah, and I want to emphasize that when I suggest is it possibly the time for Jarius Jackson, I'm not putting the blame for the Lions not being able to get the ball moving on Travis Lulay. It's partly the schemes, partly the fact that this Calgary defense is causing some problems, but Jarius Jackson's got some experience, as we know. Might be able to recognize things a little quicker.
8 yards for Robertson. Bad snap from Angus Reid. Lulay has to eat it. And there's Robert McCune on top. Saw this a few times last week.
Well, last week there was a couple of timing issues as well where Angus Reid snapped it before the snap count. That caused some problems right down at crunch time as well.
Last week it was first sound issues. He was snapping on first sound, but sound wasn't necessarily being made by the quarterback waiting for the snap of the football. So a loss in 2nd and 14. There's Arsenault, too tall for him, and does he get cut down by Dwight Anderson?
Travis Lulay is having to throw around the rush. We've seen that happen a couple of times with Paris Jackson, and now it's Emmanuel Arsenault. And when your quarterback has to throw over and around the rush, he's going to have the ball go high on him a bunch. And we've seen a ton of those. He's setting his receivers up, and they're getting punished because of it.
Timeout. Got TV timeout, okay?
Murphy awaits.
Let's go. Hey, man.
Just past the 2-minute mark of the 4th quarter. Ian Murphy, short return, just 3. Calgary football. When we come back, the Stamps lead by 11. Sunday Night Baseball continues tomorrow night on TSN2 as the Red Sox roll into New York to continue their rivalry with the Yankees. Live coverage begins exclusively on TSN2 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Well, the Stamps can take a stranglehold on this one. With a scoring drive, Joffrey Reynolds straight ahead in his 100th CFL game. Had 100-yard games in each of his 3 starts against the Lions last year.
Yeah, he really has churned up some yards against the BC Lions. 48 for 384 in the last 3. In those 3 wins, that's an average of 128 per game last year against the BC Lions alone.
2nd and 7. And it's Lewis. Short gain. And looks like he'll be a couple of yards shy of the first down, depending on the spot. Looks like a yard short. And we may get a measurement. Well, they're going to call 3rd and 1.5 yards, and John Hufnagel not going to take any chances with the lead. Giannis Davis awaiting. Burke Dales launches another.
Go.
Flag down. And Davis skips out at the Lions bench. Jarius Jackson's been warming up. We'll find out if he comes in. Well, we've got 10:40 clock running, 4th quarter. And Jarius Jackson inserted into the game, almost on Glenn Suter's cue. And throws a strike to Paris Jackson. Colton Collins upends him. Again, Jarius Jackson recovering from off-season shoulder surgery, which set him back in training camp. And Wally Buono telling us a week ago that he's 100 times better than he was a month ago. But still hinting this week that it wouldn't be fair to Jarius Jackson.
Well, he's not 100%, that's the thing. But at this point in the season, not many players are, and I think Jarius Jackson is comfortable with where he's at to play.
2nd and 3, quick hitter, first down, G-Roy Simon.
You can just see the urgency and how quickly he's making these decisions. And now it is quick passing game, but he knows where he wants to go with the ball immediately. So this is the difference from a 6-year player and a player in his 3rd start.
They go hurry up. Here comes the pressure. Jackson stands in. Jackson to Jackson. That familiar combination.
And there's something we haven't seen all year from Paris Jackson. For him to get up and spin that football like that with that kind of confidence, it looks like he feels pretty good with Jarius Jackson in the game.
And the Lions continue with the fire offense. Another first down. And now going deep, looking for Armstrong. He's got it. Laid out for that one. Huge catch. Down to the Calgary 27.
The Spartan, the BC Lions were looking for. He got press coverage. Derek Armstrong one-on-one on Brandon Browner. 2 big, tall football players going at it. Brandon Browner in the chase after a nice inside move, and what a catch.
Going to be a challenge, yes. John Hufnagel just saw that last replay and tosses the challenge flag.
Yeah, and this is a good one from John Hufnagel. I mean, this is one he should take another look at because, you know, he had both hands on it. But again, you can't use the ground at all to help you catch the football. In other words, pin it against the ground to catch it. Does he get his arm under, or does the tip of that ball touch the turf?
33-yard catch on the line.
Calgary is challenging the rolling on the field of a completed pass. The play will be reviewed.
His arms got under there quickly. Did it come out after he hit the ground?
And right there, did the ball come out? Or is it still in his control under the left arm? It's a sensational effort.
Well, it looked like he got his left hand under. That's why I thought that was some kind of catch. You look back at it again as they roll over each other. I'm wondering from this angle if you can see that ball roll out of his hands and hit the turf or not. It looks like he's okay so far, but right there, looks like the ball rolls on the ground and then he kind of scoops it as he's turning. Another look.
On the ground or rolled up on the shoulder. Jake Ireland is.
It's a good challenge by John Huffnagel.
Absolutely.
And this is the two things they're looking at now is whether or not the point of that ball touched the ground when he left his feet, Derek Armstrong, and also did he maintain control and survive impact with the ground. In other words, did the ball roll out along the ground like we showed you when we blew it up a little bit. They're going to take a good long look at this one. But what a spark Jarius Jackson has brought to this BC Lion huddle.
This could be TSN turning point time.
Upon review, replay rules that the pass was incomplete. Pass is incomplete. It will be second down and 10 from the 50-yard line and a half. Second down.
Well, that pours cold water on a furious comeback.
You know, I think they got this right, though, and I think if it's just about whether or not the tip of the football is touching right there, then they maintain the rule. But when the ball rolls out after he hits the ground, right there, and he drags it along the ground a bit and then brings it back out with his left hand, that's where I think he didn't maintain control of the football.
You know what the Lion fans think?
Yeah.
A long, loud incompletion, negating a 33-yard play.
Now the officials are going to have to.
Correction on the play was the 50.5-yard line on BC side.
You're going to have to find out exactly where the football was because they'd already moved the chains. So they had to go back to figure out exactly where to reset it. It'll be second and 10.
Well, let's see if that call and the delay to make the call takes a little bit of the steam out of this Lions offense. Second and 10. Jackson going deep again. That's up for grabs. And knocked down by Brandon Brown up against Armstrong. And Armstrong's got another argument.
Well, Armstrong wanted the penalty, and I think he has an argument here because that was a deliberate throw behind Brandon Browner and Derek Armstrong again, one-on-one, again in the press. But this time, rather than throw it up and let Derek Armstrong go get it, he wants to throw it just behind him. And you can see Browner with his hand on and over the jersey, and that's pass interference. You can't grab the jersey and not allow the receiver his chance back to the football, and that one was a missed call.
Good boot. Murphy inside his 15. And Anthony Reddick takes him down at the 20. So we're midway through the fourth quarter. Still 11-point Calgary lead. Our game story brought to you by Mr. Lube.
Kenyon Rambo back-to-back games with touchdowns in his first 2 games back after rehabbing his knee injury. Drew Tate got his first touchdown pass in the Canadian Football League. Remind everyone, Wally Guano has never started 1-5.
Stamps trying to go 5-1 and take the lead in the CFL West. 8 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. Joffrey Reynolds. up across the 25-yard line. Well, a lot of talk about pass interference calls made and not made this weekend. What about this one?
Well, and I think it's probably time for a league review on the overall interpretation of the pass interference rule, because in this weekend's games, there has been some inconsistency. When you look at that right there, he's got his hand on him now. Brandon Brown has grabbed the jersey of Derek Armstrong. The ball is now in the air, and he is still hanging on to the jersey.
2nd and 3. Joffrey got a pound for the first down, and he'll be close.
And there is interpretation when you're talking about pass interference. There's a lot of football to be played, and one play like that doesn't determine winners and losers, but the bottom line is that Brandon Browner got away with one.
Brandon Browner's the focus of attention in a lot of these discussions. That's just the way he plays. He's as physical a defensive back as there is in this league. Was a first down for Reynolds and the Stamps. On a roll, Burris, and this one almost picked off and caught Kenyon Rambo as two line defenders collide, and the ball pops into his hands.
And Ryan Phillips is hurt on the play. I believe it was Stanley Franks he ran into. They're both breaking on the football, and I thought it looked like for a second Ryan Phillips might have had a shot at either a knockdown here or butt, and there's the collision. And he got up holding his ankle.
Stanley Franks felt the impact of that as well.
Oh.
And for Calgary, that's when you know it's your night. Third catch for Rambo, and again the veteran Ryan Phillips still down after colliding with teammate Stanley Franks. And you're right, from our angle it looked like Phillips had a pretty good chance for an interception.
It hurt Franks as well.
Did it ever? He stays in.
He's trying to regroup.
Reddick will take the spot to Phillips. $11 interceptions in 2007 for Ryan Phillips. He was eyeing up his first of this season. And then there was a malfunction at the junction.
Pretty good concentration there by Kenyon Rambo. That collision happened right in front of him. The ball bounces up and he's on his way down. He's already flat on his back and still comes up with the catch, and it's rolling for Calgary.
Corey Banks moves into Phillips' spot, and Reddick takes over for Banks at Sam linebacker. First down movement. Edwin Harrison popped out of his stance.
Tad Crawford
Legal
there at safety.
Calgary number 53, 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
Full start from the right tackle.
Tad Crawford, the safety, was trying to line the Lions up because they didn't have their alignment correct. Joe Henderson was covering the wrong players, so Crawford went up and grabbed him, moved him out onto Joffrey Reynolds, and then got Corey Banks to move inside on the slot back. I believe it was Nick Lewis. All that movement cost Big Edwin Harrison. That's why the reason he moved.
First and 15. And it's swung out for Lewis, and Nick Lewis is taken down by Anton McKenzie. 5th catch of the night for number 82. And now it'll be 2nd and about 5. Lions have to get the football back. Stampeders working the clock. Just over 5 minutes left now. And a 2-score lead. scrambling. And that pass incomplete. Delivered low to Nick Lewis. He'll argue it. But it'll be third down.
Yeah, and I wonder where he was on that white stripe. That's also a question. I thought Henry Burris could have taken that football, tucked it under his arm, and got the first down and beat the pursuit angles of the BC defense. It looks like he's out of bounds.
Catch for Lewis, but on the white. And Burkdales comes in looking to pin the BC Lions deep. And Burkdales has done a terrific job of this year. Hasn't sacrificed much distance, but has worked on his placement, and it has been outstanding. And this one inside the 10. And Jonas Davis with the return. So Jarius Jackson provided a bit of a spark until the challenge overturned a big gain to Derek Armstrong. Let's see if he can get something going on his second series. There's the night for Travis Lulay.
Now back-to-back tough nights for Travis Lulay. Again, not all his fault. Coming off a game where he threw for 134 against Edmonton in a loss. And we may be taking a look here for the BC Lions at what they do next week.
And it's a short week. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders next. Going deep. What's Armstrong? And that one incomplete as that battle continues between Armstrong and Browner.
Trying to throw on the run, stepping up in the pocket. Jarius Jackson, you know, he hasn't had nearly as many reps as these other quarterbacks in Casey Printers or in Travis Lulay to throw this deep ball, especially to the wide receivers, in this case Derek Armstrong again. And Derek Armstrong had to lay out for one. There was the interference call that wasn't called on the second, and that one he just missed it.
2nd and 10, Jackson, and that ball batted down near the line of scrimmage. And it's a 2-and-out. And time starting to run out on the BC Lions. In danger of falling to 0-3 at home. Averaging 20 points per game coming in and stuck on 16 tonight.
Which is basically what the Calgary Stampeders are allowing. 21, first in the league on defense. And
Murphy puts it on the turf, and do the Lions get it? They're indicating they've got it. They do. Maybe a last gasp drink for BC.
Dion Murphy had some issues with fumbles early on in the season. He seemed to have put them behind him.
And the long snapper, Dan McCullough, looks like he came up with it. Well, there's still some life for the home team. Murphy losing his second fumble of the year. Jerry's going to load it up again. He wants G-Roy Simon. Incomplete. Milt Collins there, and you can hear the fan reaction.
Well, let's take a look. There's all kinds of contact. Keon Raymond on G-Roy Simon. Now here comes first contact there. Ball's in the air there. Now they're both hand fighting. I would let that go. It's the whether or not that Collins hit from behind. Milt Collins hitting G-Roy Simon from behind was that early before the ball arrived. And as the fans looked at the replay here, they thought so.
Second and 10. Jackson, a little footing problem, but does throw a strike. And Simon finally down, but a first down at the Calgary 47-yard line. Maybe a finish yet as the teams get the 3-minute warning. CFL on TSN action continues on Thursday. It's the Canadian Football Hall of Fame game in Saskatchewan. Another tough one for the Lions and a short week to prepare for the 4-2 Saskatchewan Roughriders. Next game for the Stampeders against Edmonton on Sunday. Darius Jackson over the middle, and that's too high for Sion. Being tracked by Bill Collins.
Well, the one thing you can tell from what we've seen from Darius Jackson so far is that the shoulder looks fine. I mean, whether he's been on the run or from the pocket, he's thrown deep numerous occasions coming into this football game. A few times to Derek Armstrong, a couple times to Geroy Simon. It looks like he's got all the zip he needs on the football, and he can throw it the distances he needs.
Wally Buono looking for consistency at quarterback. 2nd and 10. Underneath, Paris Jackson dives for that first down stick. Let's see where they mark it.
Well, either way, Wally Buono is going to go ahead and try and get this, I'm sure. We've got to go ahead and play 3-down football now.
2:38 left. 6 catch for Jackson. 78 yards, so he is enjoying his best night of the season.
One of the best play calls in this kind of situation that I've seen throughout the years has always been screen. And that's something that's really been foreign to the BC Lion playbook. I know they have to get, there's a ways, it's a steep hill to climb back in this one, but a little dump pass in the screen to Jamal Robertson. You're gonna have to go get the first down first.
That's short with the length of the football. Coach said earlier in the week, until there is consistency at quarterback, it's going to be tough, and it has been tough again tonight for these Lions. Darius Jackson on the 3rd down sneak has the first down.
11-point game. So Wally Buono does need a field goal and a touchdown and a 2-point convert to get back in it. So he could kick a field goal here if he had to. In other words, if it became a 3rd and long.
Or does he just think about 2 touchdowns to win?
Yeah. Well, if he
does a field goal, touchdown, and a 2-point convert, 3 scores only gets you tied. And this one's picked off. One he shouldn't have thrown. Brandon Browner stepped in front of Armstrong as he continues to win that battle. And another Lion quarterback throws a turnover.
Now let's take a look at Brandon Browner on the outside, and he's been in a battle with Derek Armstrong in this 4th quarter. There he is there. Geroy Simon's trying to get out of that junk bunch in the slot back, but up on the top is where the battle has been. Now that time it's real good coverage by Brandon Browner. A little tap on the shoulder pad. That's no problem. He turns inside. No contact made, and the ball right between the 2 and the 7.
2nd interception of the season for Browner. Both the terrific corners for the Stampeders have picks on the night. Dwight Anderson earlier. And now the Calgary offense to eat the clock. And this guy's as good a clock eater as there is. Dr. Reynolds doesn't want to go down. Up to the 22-yard line.
Calgary Stampeders at 5-1 equals their best start since the year 2000.
They'll be 2-0 against the West.
And John Huffnagel will improve, Chris, to 8-0, counting a playoff game against his former boss in Wally Buono.
That might be the most remarkable of all the stats. Under 2 minutes away from nailing that down. Joe Henderson dragging down Joffrey Reynolds.
I asked John Huffnagel about that. He said, I know you talk to Wally Buono often, and you have obviously tremendous mutual respect between the two of you. And his response to me was, I'm sorry, I don't recollect what
Timeout.
the record is
BC.
or have any sort of recollection of last year or what happened. We're thinking about this game, and they knew it would be a tough one.
Second and 5. The Lions have called a timeout. 1:49 on the clock. Joffrey Reynolds, by the way, 71 yards, is now 12 away from 8,000 on the odometer.
By the way, that year in 2000, the Calgary Stampeders started the season 6-0-1.
Second and 5, an early movement.
That year, Dave Dickinson was the most outstanding player in the Canadian Football League. The year 2000.
Turned down an offer to
Legal
become the quarterback
procedure.
coach.
Calgary, number 53, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Second flag on the right tackle, Edwin Harrison tonight. Wally Bono offered him a job in BC, but he moved up the chain of command in Calgary.
Well, and the last time the BC Lions beat Calgary, he played quarterback for them.
Harris called his own number and then didn't like what he saw and hit the deck. So BC will get the football once again, but it is a 2-score deficit.
You know, full credit to the Calgary Stampeder defense. They came out with a very different look tonight. They took a page out of the Saskatchewan book, and in fact even changed it further, where they lined up defensive linemen and linebackers 3, 4, 5 yards off the line of scrimmage and just kind of attacked it from there. And Travis Lulay just could not handle the different looks.
Pressure off the edge. Burke Dales sails that one down to Giannis Davis. And he's met at the 50. The punt cover team's been good again tonight for the Stampeders. And Dale's hobbling a bit as he heads to the sidelines.
It's a Calgary defense that came into the game leading the league in takeaways with 16. They do it by committee. I mentioned the 9 different players with sacks.
Jackson back to work. He wants to go to Arsenault, up in the air and brings it down. Good catch for Emmanuel Arsenault to the Calgary 24. 36-yard play.
Well, it has been bombs away for Jarius Jackson.
100-yard gain for Arsenault, who climbed the ladder and brought it down. Official spilling, and I think they're going to stop and make sure everything's straight.
Whistle had not been blown.
Andre Cruz says he had whistle play in. One of the officials tripped on a Calgary defensive player trying to get into his spot as the ball was snapped. 70 seconds remaining. And that's a catch for O'Neal Wilson. Inside the 20-yard line. Jarius, have you seen enough to...
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think there's a question on a short work week as they go into Saskatchewan. It looks like Jarius Jackson's shoulder is fine, and if it's fine, looks like he's their best option right now.
He would be the third starter in 7 weeks. That pass is caught, and Arsenault brought down quickly by the Burnaby native Eric Fraser, once a season ticket holder for the BC Lions. Hoped the Lions would draft him. But BC passed over him 3 times. And he's happy to be a Stamp. First down, here comes the pressure. Jackson got away. Little shovel, and it's incomplete. Had to get it away quickly to avoid the sack, and couldn't make a connection with Jamal Robertson.
Casey Printers is getting closer as well as you talk about the Lions moving forward. But this is what I was wondering with regards to screen draw. With the type of pressure that Calgary Stampeders have been sending, there has been some room just in behind that line of scrimmage. Of course, that was just Jarius Jackson trying to make it on the fly. Casey Printers is close as well.
In the final minute, 2nd and 10. A lot of time, and now Jackson has to scramble. Anybody open? No. Down he goes. Jarius Jackson is dropped for the sack, as Robert McCune has his 2nd sack of the game and his 3rd of the year.
Yeah, that's just after the interception that Brendan Browner picked off Jarius Jackson. He wasn't going to just throw it into coverage and hope his receiver would win the battle that time. So he takes the sack because no one was open.
So now it's 3rd down and 16. They have to get inside the 5. Jackson will put it into the end zone. Jump ball, flag down. Paris Jackson in double coverage draws the pass interference penalty.
Pass interference, Calgary number 25. The foul will occur in goal. The ball will be on the 1-yard line. 1st down.
So the Stampeders with 127 penalty yards in the game give BC a 1st down and goal at the 1. How about triple coverage?
Just must have been some contact just before that.
Can I get right here?
Robertson, touchdown.
2-point convert. Onside kick.
We'll wait to find out what this flag's about. But you're right, if BC is going to win.
Offside, Calgary number 14. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
They still have a couple scores left.
Yeah.
To manufacture in 23 seconds.
Well, after this weekend, I have to say I'm a little confused as to what is and what isn't pass interference. I'm not sure there was pass interference on that Paris Jackson play.
There have been a number of plays that will be talked about, I'm sure, by players, coaches, and the officials.
Illegal procedure, BC number 69. Convert will be repeated 5 yards back.
So now they have to hit the 2-point convert from the 10-yard line as Duckett moved prematurely.
You know, and this is the kind of leadership that they're going to need the Lions moving forward. Watch Jarius Jackson's reaction after the illegal procedure call. You know, and he's gonna tell those offensive linemen about it in the work week.
Looking for 2. Paris Jackson incomplete. So now the Lions will need a short kickoff and a major. Five points the difference. And the Hands team will get their instructions on the BC sidelines.
Yeah, BC will go with that onside. A couple of different ways you can try and do that. Load up one side of the field, put some air under the kick, and then hope that you're the last to touch it going out. The Calgary Stampeders front line will try and take out as many people as they can, many potential receivers, and have one returner try and knock it out of bounds, be the last to touch it. Remember, you don't need possession in the CFL. All you need to do is be the last person to touch it without kicking it out of bounds. You talk about moving forward for the BC Lions, though, Chris. I'll get it right. We've been through so many quarterbacks with the BC Lions, but Casey Printers is getting closer. Travis Lulay, we can see his potential, I think, as football fans across this country. But if Printers isn't quite right, the best option right now for the BC Lions to try and climb out of this hole, I believe, is going to be Jarius Jackson.
Saskatchewan Thursday. Is there any CFL fan across the country that thought BC and Edmonton would be 1-5 a third of the way through the season?
There we go.
Timeout, Calgary.
The Stamps didn't like the way things were set.
No, that's a smart play by John Huffnagel, because he waited just long enough for the BC Lions to declare what they were going to do in the onside kick, to give his return team a chance to look at it. Then he called the timeout. Now the Lions could go back and change it. Wally Buono could try a different type of onside kick. Looks like that's what he's trying to do.
That's exactly what he's saying. Change it.
Change it up.
So the chess match continues.
And they are going to change it. It looks like Paul McCallum will load up the opposite side. And the other thing that kickers can try and do in this situation is try and top the ball so it takes one big, huge bounce along the way. And that front line here for the Calgary Stampeders are going to try and knock off the receivers coming down for BC. They want Nick Lewis in behind that line.
Oh, the double T trick. And Andre Proulx not fooled.
Is there a double T rule?
I don't know, but apparently the official was right over there, and
I'd have to go through the rule book to see. That's a new one.
I thought Andre was volunteering to hold for Paul McCallum there, but I guess the double T trick is okay.
I guess it's legal because they checked it, and it looks like this might be the...
Just when you think you've seen everything. Here we go. And it's fielded by Nick Lewis. He can tweet about that tonight. And you know he'll be celebrating it. So the Calgary Stampeders only have to work 21 seconds off. Dwight Anderson, a big night. His partner in crime on the other corner. Prominent as well, Brandon Browner.
Yeah. Big fourth quarter for Brandon Browner. There was the one call, and that's fine. I mean, that happens where the officials miss a call like that. We saw it last night as well in a pass interference. But played strong outside on Derek Armstrong when Jarius Jackson was really trying to get him the football.
So the Stamps claim the lead in the West at the 1/3 mark of the season. The BC Lions at 1-5, and Saskatchewan next. Does not get any easier, no relief in sight. And John Huffnagel remains perfect against his mentor, Wally Buono. Well, the Lions unable to stop the bleeding here tonight. Henry Burris and the Stampeders just a little bit better. Stampeders have the lead in the West, and the Lions will try and regroup for the Rough Riders in Saskatchewan. Our next game on Thursday. 27-22 the final. So long. SportsCenter is next.